Hey, and welcome to the Hospitality Suite, the podcast that helps you live your best hotel life. Let's say you've established while staying in a hotel that one of your most valuable items has disappeared. It's gone, MIA. You had your necklace by your bedside. Perhaps you had your Garmin watch by your bed. Or maybe you're missing some cash. Or you were sitting at a table and you left a valuable item. You got up to go to the restroom for a few seconds. When you come back, the thing is gone. What do you do? Who is responsible? Who should be held accountable? What do you do? This is exactly what I want to tackle today, and that is the safeguarding of your valuables. It doesn't matter if you're in a luxury hotel or an economy hotel, it's a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star hotel, it doesn't matter. So let's dive right in. We'll break this down into things that you should and shouldn't do to ensure a hassle-free and secure stay. There's some guidelines. And this is going to help you to establish who is responsible, who is accountable, what you should do. There are definitely some guidelines when it comes to safety or safekeeping of your valuables when staying in a hotel. Starting off with the do's, when it comes to safeguarding your valuables in a top global luxury hotel or a 4-star hotel, economy, 3-star hotel, it doesn't matter. What you should do is use the in-room safe. These are provided by hotels. It's common and it's standard. And I know it doesn't sound sexy, it doesn't sound romantic, especially if you're in a top-end hotel. The last thing you want is to really follow rules and worry about safeguarding and all these serious things. But you need to use the in-room safe. Most luxury hotels provide in-room safes. For your convenience, use them. It's a perfect place to store your passport, your jewelry, and other important items. There needs to be a level of responsibility that applies here. You cannot leave things to, it should be like this. I should not have my items go missing. Yes, the expectation is appropriate. You do expect not to have to worry about your valuables in certain hotels and certain brands. But things do go wrong. If you think about the billions in the tourism economy, the number of people in millions that walk in and out the hotel doors, just by the sheer volume of those numbers and the values in terms of economic spend, things are bound to go wrong. And you don't want to be on the receiving end of something going wrong. So use the hotel safe. You need to check the hotel policy. Take a moment to review the hotel's policies on valuables and liability. There's a lot of things that we sign. Nobody likes to read. We don't read. We just don't read. We just sign and we go with common knowledge and to a certain degree expect and trust. But there's always these stipulations with everything that you sign that speak about what would happen in the event that something goes missing. And you want to just from time to time review. You don't have to be reading each and every little bullet point, but you need to have a fair understanding, especially if you are a frequent traveler in a particular hotel or a particular hotel brand, how they do things when it comes to hotel policies. So take a moment to review these. These policies may vary, and it's crucial to know what the hotel will cover in case of theft, if they cover anything. You need to lock your door. Whenever you leave your room, be sure to lock your door behind you. Even in the safest hotels, it's good practice. Your house is pretty safe, I'm pretty sure. Most of us have top-end security, but you can't tell me that you leave your door open when you go to sleep at night. You lock your doors, you arm your alarm system, or whatever else you do that is security, you make sure that you do it every night. It's no different in hotels. There is, yes, an expectation. You pay a lot of money. You have this brand promise, whatever the brand promise is by the hotel that you use or you use frequently. But safety is safety, and there's a level of responsibility that you need to display when it comes to your valuables. Think about it. It's like getting into a Volvo. a car that's considered to be one of the safest cars ever built. You don't get into a Volvo and not put on your seatbelt while driving at 240 kilometers per hour just because it's an expensive car and you paid a lot of money for it. You put on your seatbelt. Now let's get into the don'ts. When it comes to safeguarding your valuables, there are a few things that you shouldn't do. This is my recommendation over 2 decades in the hotel and hospitality business. Try not to flash your wealth. I know it's hard for some of us. It's like that Jay-Z song, ball so hard so mother effers won't find you. Well, trust me, if you ball too hard, you might have people finding you very easily if you flash too much of your wealth. Be discreet with your valuables. Flashing expensive jewelry, especially, or gadgets, can attract the wrong kind of attention. Hotels are open to the public, and there are people that may not be staying in the hotel that are coming to visit just to have a look at who is in the hotel, what status, what level of wealth, and they'll blend in. These people will sit and they will buy and pay for a lunch or drink, and nothing will happen in the hotel. But there is a risk that when you are going out or you are somewhere else, you could possibly be targeted. These are real things that happen. And it may sound a little bit controversial for a hotelier to talk about these things, because what I should be doing is always talking about safety and how things are rosy. We're in a perfect world, and make sure that, everybody that is thinking of traveling and staying in hotels feels safe all the time. Yes, the hoteliers and the hotels do their part, but reality is things do go wrong. So one of the don'ts, my suggestion would be not to flash your wealth. You don't want to be a target for all sorts of fancy footwork criminals that might want to follow you should you go out, let's say, to an outside restaurant for a night or decide to go visit a place. These things, unfortunately, do happen from time to time. You also need to avoid leaving your valuables in plain sight. Don't leave your precious items in plain sight in your room. Always use the in-room safe. Hotels are very good at vetting people that come and work at their establishments or their organizations or their properties or whatever. And it's quite thorough. People are checked, and there's all sorts of checks and assessments that are done. And criminal checks obviously are mandatory. All these things are done. But you just cannot foresee what will happen in the future. You cannot foresee how people's lives will change and what they might be tempted to do, what they might be coerced into doing. These things do happen. So you don't want to leave your valuables in plain sight, because should something go wrong, you might find it difficult to make a claim against the hotel. This is why you need to use the in-room safe. Also, do not share your room number. Be cautious about your room number and who you share your room number with. It's not information you should give to anybody. In fact, even if you're checking in and let's say somebody shares your number or says your number out aloud, that's checking you in. You could actually ask them for another room. You have the right to, if you feel uncomfortable about your room being shared out aloud around people that you're not really happy that got to hear your room number. You could actually ask for your room number to be changed. What hoteliers should do, or top hoteliers should do, is they should present you with your room key and indicate where your room number is on your registration card or your resident card, as it's called in the hotel business. But it shouldn't be screamed out aloud for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to know or to hear. So you should be cautious of people and how they handle and how they communicate your room number. And you too should be cautious of giving your room number or saying your room number. Let's say you're at a bar and you need to pay a bill or charge something to your room. Do not scream your room number out aloud. You want to be discreet about your room number. You want the staff to be discreet about your room number. You do not want unsavory characters or anybody that's got ill intentions learning about your room number. It's very important, especially if you are a female traveler traveling by yourself. You need to be very, very cautious. Okay, enough of the scary movie. These are things that are just guidelines. Things do go wrong. There is a multitude of things that could go wrong if you do not practice safety while staying in a hotel. It's reality. I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. There's millions of people that go in and out of hotels. And by the sheer volume of people going in and out of hotels, things are bound to go wrong somewhere, somehow, at some point. You just don't want to be the person in the incident reports because you're a little bit sort of lax with safety. You need to practice safety all the time. Hotels, however, do a lot of good things. They have visible signs that remind you about your safety. If you go inside your room, like I said, there is a safe and it says there, please use your safe, please store your valuables. The hotel is not liable should you not use the safe. They tell you about safety in general in and around the hotel. So you need to just heed those guidelines and make sure that you are safe all the time. The one thing I've noticed over the years, which is the reason why I thought I should put this episode together talking about safety, because I think it's very important that people are aware of the things they can do and they should do, and maybe the things they shouldn't do when it comes to safeguarding their valuables, is how quickly people point the finger at the hotel when something has gone missing. It's very rare to find anybody, and this is what I've experienced, it's very rare to find anybody taking responsibility immediately when something has gone missing. It happens, but it's very rare. What naturally happens and what generally happens is that the finger is immediately pointed at the hotel. I think because people have an expectation that the hotel must take care of everything and look after the customer's valuables, each and every customer's valuables. It's impractical. It's impossible. The hotels have guidelines, they've got security controls, they've got policies and procedures, they've got screening processes for everybody they employ, but it's impossible to look after and be responsible and be accountable for each and every valuable item out of the millions of customers that walk into the doors. What people generally do is they point the finger at the hotel. They'll go as far as even asking for camera footage or CCTV footage. And I'm always amazed at the shock that people receive when hotels tell them no. The reason why hotels say no is because hotel footage or CCTV camera footage is the hotel's property. It belongs to the hotel, and they use it for the purposes of safety for customers and monitoring and safety for staff and so forth. It's not to give out to anybody who's missing something, not sure, and wants to now investigate. No, it's proprietary information. It's owned by the hotel and they don't have to give it to anybody. It can be quite complicated. The hotel has to worry about POPI Act, the privacy of other customers, and anything else that might be in the footage that is private for the hotel. The only time that a hotel will be mandated to share CCTV footage, to my knowledge, is if there's a subpoena from law enforcement because of an ongoing investigation. That's pretty much the only time a hotel will be mandated to hand over footage, and not to willy-nilly give it to anybody who wants it because they've lost something and they want to now launch their own investigation. The hotel will do their investigation and it will always be independent of the authorities, and it is limited to a certain degree. If you think about hoteliers, they're not CSI investigators. They will tell you a lot about thread count and caviar and specialty wines, but they are not top-notch investigators. So they will do a basic investigation to the best of their ability. It will always be independent of the authorities. And so it's limited to a certain degree. So you have the option, obviously, to go to the authorities if you want to pursue your case further. But hotels are hotels. They are not the SAPS. They are not law enforcement. Like I said, they're not CSI investigators. So there's a great deal of responsibility that lies with anybody that goes to hotels or visit hotels to look after their own valuables. Anyway, enough of the horror story. This was just to give you guidelines because, it can be quite sad. It can be quite disheartening to deal with a person once they've lost their valuables and they truly believe that the hotel is responsible and the hotel should be accountable. Hotels have got established policies in place. They will do the best and they always do their best. And they sometimes do more than the legal requirements in terms of safeguarding you as a customer and your valuables. But they always seem to get the blame. And it's quite sad. And sometimes people walk away and they just do not understand and they cannot believe that the hotel has told them, sorry, we're not liable. It will happen to you if you do not look after your valuables. So take these guidelines, use the in-room save, make sure you don't blot out your room number in public, make sure that you leave your door closed, and try not to flash your valuables because there's all sorts of people that go in and use the hotel facilities. They are guests as far as hotel people are concerned because they blend in, they buy things, they spend, they have lunch, they pay for their dinner, they dress the part. It's very difficult to distinguish some of these people sometimes. So you just need to be careful. To make sure that you live your best hotel life all the way until the end of your stay without missing any valuables, please make sure that you follow these guidelines. And as always, keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep embracing the world of hospitality. Cheers for now.